the bottom of every ball. This time I'm having steak. Forever you was staking. I've staked out my.
Habba dabba dabba doop boop boo doop. All right.
Have another rectum story.
Speaking of memories.
Oh, God.
All right, let's do this. I'm having fun.
I am too.
I'm 30 and flirty, but I'm only 28.
Shark boy and ass girl.
My name is Pedro Pascal.
Petrol.
Petrol oil. Okay. Pour the shot. Kiss me.
California apricot.
One.
Kiss me one more time.
Bow. Bow.
How the heck does this come off?
Have you ever tried to open a bottle naked?
Just cut to me. I'm just naked on your couch.
Hey, Dad, would you mind putting clothes on? You don't need to open that bottle naked.
Dad, you have the camera on. Why are you naked?
It's for my OnlyFans account.
Only men. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay.
Sakura. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Tim Tam. Well, hi.
Well, hi.
I'm Benji. I've been all over the place.
Benji J. Fry.
I'm Benji, and you are
Finji.
J. Mai. We are the two beans.
Two beans coming at you right now. Bow.
Bow, 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 bow. And we just filmed a coffee episode with lots of Baileys.
Yeah, we're both kind of hyped up on coffee and a little tipsy.
A little tipsy. So we're going to get more tipsy, keep this party rolling, and let's do this, man. Let's take our shot. This episode is brought to you by our memories.
I've pulled them out of my head, and I've turned them into corporations, and they're giving us money to sponsor these episodes.
Exactly. Thank you, Jeffrey Tezos.
Oh, Jeffrey Tater Tot.
It's spelled with a G, too, not a J. It's not the normal.
Goffrey.
Geoffrey.
Yes.
I used to pronounce that as a kid. Just that's how I pronounce it. Like Geoffrey. This guy's name's Geoffrey.
My name's Gopher Alley.
Gother is actually the name of an anime character that I like.
Ooh.
Well, I like the anime, not really the character. The character's okay.
Beep.
All right.
California apricot.
$13.
Yep.
Oh, it's not bad. I wouldn't go and be like, man, you should try this.
No, this tastes and smells like perfume you get at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yeah, but like I would rather have that than Admiral Nelson's
Well, yeah,
ass.
we've definitely had worse, but it's like you're really desperate for alcohol, so you sneak into your mom's bedroom and you find her perfume, and you're like, oh,
and then it turns out it's actually her sex gel.
You're like, why does she smell like that all the time? I thought it was perfume.
So we got weird. Anyway, so
hey, Dad, why are you naked?
we are gonna talk about memories today, blah, blah, blah. Childhood memories, teenage memories,
Yeah.
recent memories, college memories, sad memories, happy memories. We're gonna do all the memories.
Just gonna go through
Things we
the
don't even
remnants of our brain and see what comes out.
Things we don't even remember.
You'll see the results.
I'm gonna be like, man, I don't remember this, but here it is. Okay.
You're like, oh yeah, that happened to me.
So we have lots. I'm gonna have fun talking about the college ones, but those are also gonna be raunchy and probably really bad. Where we're gonna be, oh no, we're actually terrible people.
Come back later for X-rated beans.
On our Only Beans fan. Onlybeans.com. Sign up for Patreon.
Sign up for mybeans.org.
We smoke cigarettes and talk about dads.
We're all dads this season.
Yes. Well, we were moms for a little, but we were like, it's gone on too long.
Yeah.
What about
Time
the
to
fathers?
move on to dad.
Yeah. I mean, like, the greatest cinema reveal of all time is Darth Vader being Luke's father. Why is that underrated?
Luke, I'm your mom.
Hey, Ma!
Hey, Ma!
All right, so let's get into this. Let's start with childhood memories.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and lead off because I've had one that I've actually been telling recently a lot. In my I travel a lot. This whole thing started when I was a kid. I used to travel a lot when I was a kid. My parents and me would like pick the vacation. One of us would pick the vacation for the year, and then we would do it. And then the next year was the next person. And so I think it was my dad that picks this because my mom picked Sturgis. I picked some dinosaur museum in Utah. That one was closed. We went to a bunch of different dinosaur museums in Utah.
Yeah.
Drove to the Rockies and stuff. So it was fun. But my dad, I'm pretty sure, picked San Antonio. And then we went from San Antonio to Galveston. We hit up Austin along the way somewhere. And Houston, Dallas, all that stuff. And my dad hates Texas.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, and he doesn't really say hates the Dallas area. He really likes San Antonio. So anyway, we're driving. It's middle of the night. We're in somewhere in Austin, I think, or getting close to Houston. And there's just this dark where it's pitch black, and there's this big white statue. And it looks like it's like you're going straight at it, and you don't actually see that the road turns.
Uh-huh.
And so, like, we're coming down. It's like, what the fuck is that? Like, there's these bright lights on it. It's pitch black, and all you see is this big white statue. And all of us, like, being the heathens that we are, like, is this Jesus? Like, are we actually dead? Like, all three of us
are we seeing the rapture right now?
Yeah, we're laughing and stuff and having fun, but we're like, oh no, like, you really can't. We're driving at this thing. Are we gonna die? Like, is the statue of Jesus gonna kill us? Turns out it's the statue of Sam Houston.
Oh.
And we did find, but yeah, that was one of my favorite memories of just like, like you're coming down and you just see this big white statue. You're like, what the fuck is that? And then if it was Jesus, like, are we actually dead?
Yeah.
Did we just die?
Well, I'm glad you didn't crash.
Oh yeah, you say that now.
I'll say that anytime.
So yeah, that's one of my just kind of fun memories.
Oh yeah, that's a good time. Yeah.
It doesn't have any deep meaning other than just like I say that story a lot.
Yeah. I just kind of picked things, and like some of it, like I just wrote like a quick prompt and hoped something would pop into my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna start off with initially the thing that I ended with when I was trying to like come up with prompts for this. So,
okay.
The first house I grew up in, it was this kind of smaller house in Oxford and stuff, and it was one of those houses where it's like you open the front door and you can see from the front door all the way to the back of the house. There's kind of a clear shot. So it would take you through the living room, through the kitchen, and into like the back bedroom.
Yeah, okay.
And so I would run back and forth. And so in that house, the stove, like if you're looking through the front door, the stove's like on this side and the bedroom's like back that way.
Okay.
So I'd run back and forth. And so I was running one time, and the stove has a handle so you can pull it out. And I, whoa! just ate it, and like so hard. And it was one of those things, like I was young, like I was maybe like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Like it was pre 5 years old. And I felt fine. I was like, I'm good. What's everyone like? I was chewing gum, and I remembered I was concerned that I either swallowed my gum or I spat it out.
Yeah.
That was my biggest thing. And I definitely remember at a certain point, like, being a little concerned because my brother, like, he was sitting at the kitchen table just doing homework, and he was like, oh. And he never, like, got that concerned about me when I was that young. And, but I mean, everything was fine. Like, I don't think I didn't get stitches or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in here. I can feel just a little slight indentation, like, from where it is.
Well, so I have a head crack. You can see the scar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were running, same thing, but in like a garage filled with tools. We're running around and these dogs are chasing us, and it's like, you're having fun, the dogs are having fun. I just fucking ate it. I don't remember what I did, but I ate it, and I got up and I hit my head again. I fell back down. And
it's like a good slapstick. Right
yeah. Like the ultimate, like kind of like the comedy thing of like, bleh, bleh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
I cracked my head open, right, and just no stitches or anything, but just bled. My parents like, what?
Uh-oh.
What? So, man, that reminded me of that. That's funny.
I was like, I could do a whole episode talking about like injuries I had as a kid.
I really didn't do a whole lot when I was a kid. My dad was such a safety nut, and like I'm still kind of like that, where I'm like, oh, like I get uncomfortable quick when it comes to things that could hurt me.
Yeah,
and it's kind of from my dad. Like I wish I could let go of those kind of things, but like I was just kind of raised.
Well, I mean, like being concerned about your safety is like not a bad thing.
I know it's not a bad habit, but like there's some times where I'm like, man, I wish I could just like let go of this and just
not be quite as concerned.
Because sometimes it's not even a life or death. I just don't want to get hurt. Like I don't like pain. I'm not into pain.
Yeah, same.
And, and like it's just so weird because it's such a thing now. But yeah, like I remember I'd get like pinched by like a girlfriend. I'm like, I fucking don't like that at all.
The light on your camera just decided to go off.
Well, hi.
It was not on, and then he's like, hey.
So my next one. So we all know I'm a huge Godzilla fan. But like growing up with my cousins and stuff, and I remember specifically Halloween being, because it's the Godzilla marathon on Sci-Fi. Like my passion for Godzilla really came from that, grew from that, and I've been doing that since I was a kid. I still do it. Halloween, I figure out how I can do it. Or I may not have Sci-Fi, but I will watch all my Godzilla movies. Which we should do that sometime.
I'm so down.
Yeah, so that's a big thing for me. That's a great memory I have that is still to this day like something that I love. It's the start of something that I love and I'm passionate for. I love Godzilla. I mean, I'm even like in school now writing papers over Godzilla and like the meaning of it and stuff. Did you know like the 1950s, like that first Godzilla movie, that was the first big piece of Japan that came out worldwide after the nuclear bombs, after we dropped the bombs out on them. And it's obviously the message makes sense, right? Yeah. So, like it's such an important memory. And then also in that same light, the dinosaurs, like Jurassic Park and stuff. Me and a cousin always go, and even without my cousin, like I have a little dirty dinosaur at my desk. I actually put a Snapchat on this the other day. It's covered in dirt, but my parents found it. I used to go out and I would take a hose and like put water and like I was in a swamp and I've got dinosaurs and there's army men everywhere.
Yeah.
Or like I'd go under a tree with like willows and like we had a big willow tree. It was just so much fun to do that. And like I think I have such a passion for just being creative.
Yeah.
That really evolved from that. I think I never lost that, and I'm super happy that I never did. Because I see people now,
that little bit of imagination.
Yeah, like I still have that. In some ways, it's kind of, I'm not upset by it, but there is some times where I'm like, man, I really need to be creative, you know. But like, it's just, yeah, like I remember those so fondly, and and now like I look back on it and how I am nowadays, I'm like, that's definitely where it came from.
Yeah,
and I don't know, I love it.
Yeah, you know, I'll kind of since my prompts were kind of loose, I'm gonna piggyback on that one
too,
because I got a similar one. Was so every year, I mean, like AMC always does like horror movies and stuff like in October. Yeah. But I remember specifically the first year I got really like kind of into that, and was kind of my introduction to a lot of like the Universal monsters was like, it was like, I think it's 2000, something like that. It was the first time I remember AMC doing like something called Monster Fest, and it was featuring all the old classics, you know, all the Universal monsters. And I just remember like the promos and the vignettes, like I would just have that channel on like all the time back then, like for that whole month. And I don't know, it's like, it just has like such a special place in my heart. It's like a part of me. Like, I'll always have AMC's Monster Fest living inside of my heart.
That's like, right, like sci-fi with the Godzilla, right?
Yeah.
It's always in October,
and that's why I love watching the monster movies, all year round, but especially like in October. There's just a nice special like ambiance, especially once it cools off a little bit. You crack like a window open, you get a little cool
crack
breeze,
a cold one,
and you crack a cold one, and you're watching Frankenstein, and you're like, God damn.
Is life gonna get any better?
Can life be better? No.
If I think about it, maybe, but I'm not thinking about it. That's what makes it so
if
nice.
I died right now, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, he died happy.
Yeah,
he had a good time." Yeah, that was a good time, and in a weird way, it's like I miss like the commercials and the vignettes and stuff that would like kind of like introduce the movies and things like that. It's like if I had all the like money and technology in the world and had access to to those, I would just recreate the whole Monster Fest and just watch that over and over every year. But you can't.
Yeah. But you do your best.
Up here,
It's up here.
It's always Monster Fest up here.
Memories, right? Like
memories.
It's such a weird thing because we have such a weird dynamic nowadays with people who are like, no, don't live through your phone, right? Like, don't take pictures. Have actual memories. And then you have people who are like, no, take tons of pictures. Take all the pictures. And just really and like remember these moments, right? It's talking about memory, and I don't think I planned this at all, so I'm gonna go off script here.
Yeah, go for it.
Honestly, like if you're telling people how to enjoy what they're doing, I don't think you're understanding the point.
Yeah,
like it's about creating memories and remembering those memories any way you can, right? Like some people take notes in class.
Yeah.
And they remember everything from those notes. Some people don't take notes. They just remember it as they go, and they have fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or they might write prompts or something to like, oh, yeah, I remember
right.
that. So, like, I don't know. Sorry, I went on that little tangent.
No, it's like, I mean, you kind of have to strike a balance a little bit because...
I think so. I think there is a balance.
I think everyone gets so caught up in, like, everyone's on their phone all the time, and they're always recording stuff, and it's like, yes and no. Like, if you're at a party or something, it's like, take some photos with friends and commemorate it. It's like, that's awesome. And then, if you actually had a good time at the thing, all you need is like one or two photos. And you can be like,
exactly.
Oh, man, I remember that. It's like, you don't need to document everything unless that's just your thing.
Right, yeah.
And then that's also cool.
Yeah, cool. I love seeing people post lots of pictures of them having fun. Like, I think it's a very positive thing that this world kind of needs.
Yeah.
Is us having fun and posting about it and talking about it. And that's something that I've been trying to do is like, I'm also trying to limit and I'm trying to strike a balance with all my traveling and stuff. Is that I'm trying to create these memories because I love it. I love what I'm doing right now. I'm having a great time. I'm thriving. But I also want to share my positivity, right? Because we've all seen my story over the past 2 years. It's been up and down, rather. There's been hard moments and there's been happy moments, and so it's like I am getting to the end, and part of my these are all memories that I'm creating right now. And Facebook's gonna show me this moment, and I'm gonna look back at it, and I'm gonna be like, this is the quintessential moment of my life.
10 years from now, you'll be like, man, like 2021, I was in San Diego.
Yeah.
And I took a picture of this thing, and oh man, that just brings it all back.
Exactly, and that's the whole point of all of this memory stuff. It doesn't matter how you do it. I just wanted to say that. Like, it doesn't matter if you take tons of pictures or not.
Yeah.
The point is to have fun and be positive and really not be negative, right? Like, when you're bashing somebody for doing this, or when you're saying, you need to do this, you're really not helping. You're being negative.
And I've been trying to, try to remember to take more pictures more often.
Yeah.
Because so I think this whole conversation does kind of tie back into memories and stuff because, there's not a ton of photos of me like when I was young.
Oh yeah,
like
same
I
here.
have some baby photos
Uh-huh.
and stuff all the way up to
Yeah.
like about 3 or 4, and then from after that, it's kind of sporadic. Like
Yeah.
my parents have a photo album that's like a third to a half done, and that's kind of all the stuff that ever got compiled
Yeah.
together. Like I know there's other photos out there, but like they're just not like as intentional as like the ones
yeah.
coming up to that. So that's one reason why I'm grateful for Facebook, because like,
It's easy.
hey, my life since I was like 15 is pretty well documented. So
Yeah.
like for better or for worse, like it's all there.
Yeah.
And I like that aspect of it because like, you know, it's nice for me. Like I can always go back and, you know, look at things that have happened
And it
reflect.
does
and
bring up cool memories. It sometimes brings up some cringy memories and stuff. But
and I like it because
that's-
like you get like a full aspect of it. It's not just looking at this photo, but it's like, remember when that friend 14 years ago commented on it?
Yeah.
And they said that thing. It's like, that was so 2009, man.
Wow, man. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
You
It's
get
so
that
cool.
whole thing, and I love it.
I just see all these like cringy statuses, you know, and they create these memories of me back in the day. And, you know, I think I've talked about it before. Like, I had depression back then. I didn't know what depression was. And I used to be so negative about it. Like, I would think about these memories, and
Yeah.
I would be like, I was such a. But, like, I think that's part of what I'm going through right now. Is using these memories, and I'm like, no, like that's who I didn't know what depression was. I had it. I didn't know what anxiety was. I was cringy, and it's okay. Like, you know,
Yeah.
learn. I affected people in a negative manner back then. I've affected people in a positive manner back then. You know?
Yeah.
But like at the same time, like you don't have to be upset at yourself when these memories come. And so like I don't know, I've been growing so much. I'm just super excited.
Yeah.
And, like, I kind of love this memories thing right now.
And to tag on to that, like, you know, I've been kind of going through like the same thing where it's like kind of processing like the old me and stuff, especially like recently, because I've been very hyper aware that it's like I'm changing, like things are changing right now.
Oh, yeah.
And it's similar to like when I was, you know, getting to be in my 20s, but back then I just didn't have the tools necessary to really understand what was going on. It was all just like, I'm changing, but I don't know anything. At least now I have like a tiny little bit of like, you know, experience and knowledge, but
I don't know.
so like looking back on like older stuff, like
Yeah.
there's definitely plenty of like cringy things and plenty of like things that
You're
I
never
go,
gonna be like
oh,
proud of who
God.
you were, but you also didn't know what you knew, right?
Yeah, and I've been viewing it through a lens of like, it's like, yeah, for sure, I'm changing and I'm growing and all these things, but it's like I'm still like the same insecure me from like childhood.
Yeah, I mean,
And when I view it through that lens, it's like, okay, this was me trying to adapt to the world and view things the best I could with the tools and the worldview that I had available to me.
yeah,
Some of it's just because like I just hadn't got out into the world, and other things it's, you know, it just takes time and experience to like kind of get to a point where you can like accurately kind of reflect and really kind of take in the things that you said, and you're like, oh, you know, I mean, I've always like struggled with this emotion, and I was very clearly like dealing with this thing, and it manifested in this way, and that's why I posted this really stupid status in 2008. You know, like you know, all this stuff. So yeah, I for sure like it's been a growing process of seeing that, but still being like really loving towards that old version of me. And that makes me hate myself less, because I've just been full of self-loathing the last few years as I've been changing.
Well, and like I've always just been this person who's like, when something goes wrong, I was like, well, if you go back and look at all of your history, you've actually been a piece of shit your whole entire life. So this actually makes sense. But now I'm getting to this point where I'm taking this positive outlook on these things, and you know, tying in with memories, taking these memories that I have of me being being cringy, you know, making me feel like that's not who I was, you know, but at the same time being very loving to that person, because that's what that person wanted.
Yeah.
That person didn't understand what they were going through, and they just wanted somebody to help them understand, or they wanted, maybe not even somebody. They didn't understand, and it was scary.
Yeah.
And I'm still that person today in a totally different sense. I just have new things that I don't understand.
Yeah.
And
you've gained that experience from the things you didn't understand before, and you're still the same person. You're just a more realized,
because of the memories I have from me and all these things that come flashback, and it's kind of thanks to Facebook. Facebook has its detractions, sure.
Yeah.
But it does bring up the past, and when you're having a bad day, you can go, well, that guy had an even badder day. I don't know. It's weird, but like...
What day do you like to take a bath? On batter day.
But, like, there's good and bad with this whole social media thing. And the one of the, I think, that can be thought of as a detraction really kind of can be used as a tool to help you get through life nowadays is the Facebook memories.
Yeah, and I mean, I think
I'm glad we've
always having like kind of a document of things and like context for stuff like that is always nice, because you can kind of go back and be like, oh well, I mean that's what I was going through at the time, or like that was the relationship that I was in, or those were the friends I was hanging out with, and it's like it's helped me like kind of keep my life like at least in some sort of semi-organized.
I've become a Semonite.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. But
I don't think
like,
it's a Semonite, but a Mennonite.
Yeah. God. On that note, I gotta pee real quick.
Yeah.
And then let's
move
figure
on.
out where we are.
We've only done childhood, so we gotta get to teenager. But it's okay. It's just grab a piece of alcohol, 'cause I got
I didn't understand any of those words. I heard I got a piece of alcohol, so I got a souvenir.
Oh shit! All right, Team Tam. Hey everybody, we're back on break. Okay, so we just kind of went on a tangent, talking about cringy moments. Well, let's talk about those cringy moments about our teenage formative years.
Which I pour my own shot.
Yeah, that's right. Which is very bad for me, because again, I've talked about how I've suffered from not suffered. I lived through having depression and anxiety way back in the day, as a lot of people do. Your body's growing, you have all these changes, which creates anxiety. But I've also I've had pretty rough depression for a lot of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is gonna be kind of cringy for me, but I'm excited. Like I had some good moments. I had some very deep, dark moments as well. I wasn't a great person back then. I was the person that I was. I wouldn't say I was good or bad.
Yeah.
I need to get better at that. I always go like, I was a bad person. No, I was the person.
Talk nice about yourself.
Yeah, I was a person.
Yeah.
And I didn't know.
Sometimes you made not great decisions.
Exactly.
But you made the decisions that made sense to you at the time.
And the part of what I love about horror movies and stuff, and they always, you
received a gift.
Oh.
Or a gift.
Gift? Oh, from... Is this still going, though?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, it's from Steam. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, everything's still going.
All right. So let's get into teenager memories. What I remember from my teenager year, there was a gal that I met, and we were very toxic towards each other for a lot of the high school years. But she was my first kiss.
Oh.
And it was in Disney World of all places, and it was in line for like a ride. And I just remember being like, she was also like the first girl that I ever like went out with. The first girl we were on a marching band trip, right?
Uh-huh.
And we're on this bus, and like we're laying underneath these seats, and she's holding my hand. We're like snuggling up and stuff. But anyway, so she was all the first of that stuff. But we're in line at Disney World, and like we just look at each other, and then we'd give it a good old smooch.
Give each other a little pecker.
And it was like, and like that was almost like a year after the first time we ever did anything, hung out and like snuggled under the seat and stuff. So it was kind of like this super like rewarding thing. Like I sat it out. I waited and I made it.
I waited a year and I got a smooch from a gal.
And yeah, I don't know. That was my first kiss. Was Disney World in line, just with this gal that I was like so into for like 3 years. Very not healthy, but me and her. Me and her, like we've reconnected recently because she's got a wonderful life. She has a family now. She's married. She's just absolutely killing it, and so like we've reconnected. Like I'm like, hey, like you're doing great.
Yeah,
yeah. But anyway,
no, speaking of like having really toxic views on a relationship at a young age, God, I
never took my shot.
This just started floating. Yeah, I didn't take a shot either. I need to take a shot before this story because this is like part of my cringy past. I've never really told out loud.
There's more of that.
So
that whole toxic relationship.
Stay tuned for.
Ooh.
What do you call them? Exclusive. I was gonna say essential stories.
Exclusively essential stories.
Yeah.
With the beans. They were friends until they weren't.
Yeah.
I thought I grabbed the good one. It was not.
What do we have?
It was
cherry.
I don't think that's the good one.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway,
so
teenager memories.
Well, so I'm sorry, I'm scooting back just a little bit.
No, you're good. I mean, were you a teen?
Because that, well, I mean, some of this kind of continued into teen years, but not as much.
It's a memory, though, right?
So thinking of like having crushes on girls and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I was the kind of kid that I would like I'd hone in on one girl, and I'd be like, I love her, and I'd be like, hey mom, you know this girl at school that you've never met? I want to marry her. It'd be like that kind of stuff. So it was overall wholesome, but I know I definitely came off as creepy, especially back then.
It gets toxic real quick, right?
I didn't understand the terminology, so I tell people that they were my girlfriend. And we definitely not. And it's not even like this thing where it's like they didn't even know. They knew I was obsessed. I would like follow them around like, hey, what you doing?
Well, y'all,
especially
how y'all
when I was real young, like I had like 2 good best friends in elementary school, and that was it. Like I was pretty much on like the low rank of everything. So it's like I had my 2 good pals, and I'd be like, hey, most popular girl in the class, I love you. See you later. And that continued up until like 4th or 5th grade. It would just kind of change girls from year to year.
Yeah. I mean, though, I feel like when you are in that lower tier, because I mean, like I was, let's be honest. Like, I probably could have been up in the tier. I didn't. You know, let's be honest.
Had we just had a little self-confidence back then? Because I'm like, wow, just a little bit, a little nugget of self-confidence. I'm like, I can fucking do things.
I think, honestly, like, you can absolutely be cool and whatever. And that's not a big deal. But you don't really realize it's not a big deal until you get really older. And you're kind of like, oh, this doesn't have to be a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you can be whatever you want in high school. Like you do get kind of like put in a place immediately, and then you're like, I have crushes on these, really cute girls.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no.
Yeah.
You shouldn't. And then you're kind of like,
yeah. And I was pretty fortunate in high school that I kind of fit into the middle of the pack.
I was always like. Up until high school, I was always kind of like right there. Like the cool group was like, yeah, you're part of us, but if we had to kick somebody out, you're that person. And then in high school, I just went off and did my own thing. Yeah.
Kind of the same thing for me. It's like I was, especially like in like junior high.
Yeah.
I was still kind of my nerdy and kind of just weird self. So I still was like kind of friends with some of the people I'd been like really good friends with throughout like high school, but like those friendships were kind of changing and stuff. And I a few people, so like Zach Johnson and Philip Zimmerman, both like just kind of like took me under their wing in some ways. So I always felt super fortunate because both of them were always like way up there in like the coolness factor, and I was just like, hi, I'm Philip.
So like,
do you want to watch the Metallica symphony? It's 3 hours. We can watch it together. I have a DVD player in my bedroom. My TV's this big.
So like, that's kind of totally what happened to me when I got into high school. I got the nickname Benji from our friend Travis and Maddie B. Actually, me and Maddie B, we became really good friends after, and really like now is when our friendship has really blossomed. But we were friends back then. But like, Travis took me under the wing. He was a year older, and he was super like kind of like confident and cool, and you're just kind of like, well, hi.
Well, hi.
I'm Benji, and I'm 5'2", and I got long ass hair and kind of a chunk.
Kind of a chub.
Not a chub.
I got a chubby in my
butt.
Bunghoo.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, that same thing happened to me.
Yeah. But that was, so all that kind of roughly ties in to one of the things that I had a hard time putting down specific memories. These are just like vague things about different eras of my life. But I liked having like kind of a mix of friends like as a teenager. Because I still was like friends with like some of the people that I like kind of grown up with. And then I kind of had like a really eclectic mix of friends. You know, it's one of those double-edged sword things where it's like I didn't have like a best friend in high school. Like I didn't have where it's like, man, that guy or gal is like my ride or die. I had like kind of different groups that I kind of fit in with in different areas. But it was cool because it's like I kind of got to see like different aspects of like different people's lives, and it definitely kind of opened me up to like different worlds. Because even back then, it's like, you know, I'd hang out with these friends and they'd have these opinions about things, and I'd hang out with these friends and they had the other things, and I'd be in the middle and I'd be like, hey, I mean, I think you guys are seeing it one way, they're seeing it one way, but like I think you're both a little skewed, you know. I didn't say any of that. I was definitely not that confident.
If you
but
guys
I remember
ever just thought about touching,
have you ever like taken your tips and you're like, if we combine the tips, we have the power. No, I was never like that cool, but I remember having those thoughts.
Oh yeah,
you know,
I could be really cool. If I had the confidence to say this.
I was super introspective and had a lot of cool ideas, but I was also like, the downside of some of that stuff was like, since I wasn't like in the cool group, a lot of these like assholes in high school, they like still live in town and they're just like, I drive a truck. Were the ones that be like, oh, I was gonna say the slur for gay people.
But like, isn't that a
but
thing?
like I got called that a lot and stuff like that, and
I mean, I still get that, right? Like, I'm very open about being who I am, right? And who I am isn't the most I mean, look at my hammerhead, right? Like,
he's very happy.
I have this hammerhead shark tattoo to kind of remind me to be happy a lot, you know, like it's smiling, it's happy, like, hey, we're all happy. I was gonna get this cool kind of hammerhead, and I saw this thing and I was like, this is more me than any kind of cool thing. And I've always been that. And it's never quite always put me in a position where like you know, like you want to, like your idea of success back then is to be cool and popular and get all the ladies, you know, and I've never been that, but I've always been myself. Right or wrong, I have always been
for
myself.
better for worse. I feel like we both have always done that. It's like we've always both marched to the beat of our own drums. Despite the fact that it's usually people like, what's this guy doing? Beating his drum in the back room. But hey, I think that's a perfect segue into our next set of memories. College?
Yeah, I've got college. So, college, after after transitioning from high school, where you're kind of like, college, I really kind of became this opposite person of who I was, right? Memories wise, and I keep trying to like throw in memories as many times as I can. Just to be like, no, we're still on topic.
Hey, do you remember that?
Yeah, please listen to me still. College memories, man. Like, we partied a lot. I bring up to this day how much we partied. And there's some people who are like, oh, wow, man, you really did party. There's some people like, yeah, well, I was doing cocaine. And I'm like,
yeah, like, it's kind of one of those things that's like,
we were right there in the middle.
There are some aspects of our partying that I'm not super proud of, and that's more so just like we weren't as aware of the systems that were already in place that we were playing into. Yeah, it wasn't like we were.
Did we do anything special? Not really.
No,
we did drink. I think from what I've seen from people is we did drink. Maybe not you, because you weren't. You were Friday, Saturday people, right?
Yeah,
maybe Thursday.
But I would get blackout drunk sometimes. Yeah. So it's like, I wasn't drinking through the week, but when like Friday or Saturday hit, I'd be like, hey, let's not remember this whole night.
So, and like, I don't remember. Actually, I fairly remember a lot of it, but I drank throughout the week, would go to school drunk, all these things. Like, I remember when you were supposed to be my ride, that, you left. I slept at Travis's, and then you were basically like, oh, you're on your own, like the next morning, because you had to go to class too. So I walked to class.
Okay, I do remember that happening.
I walked to class. It was it was the first day of.
Oh yeah, we were like right back from
spring semester.
Winter break.
Oh, I remember, man. I did so many just because we drank Barton's vodka on the cheap nights when Travis would get paid, we'd have Jaeger. But I remember, like, so I passed out. There's pictures of me in a bathtub. They had this chocolate cake war and spraying champagne everywhere. There's videos of this where they're throwing chocolate cake at each other and they're spraying champagne everywhere. Yep. And I get up, I threw up everywhere all the time because I was drinking just tons of vodka, Barton's vodka, and I'm like, get the out. And they calm me down. I'm like snuggled up in this bathtub with a blanket. They poured shaving cream all over me, and I woke up.
I remember the pictures. Yeah,
I woke up, walked to class. I showed up 15 minutes late to the first day of class, just trashed. In
the same clothes you were in the night before.
And I was trashed. Still, I was still drunk. But I made it through the whole day. I think maybe you were my ride home after school, or maybe somebody was, or I walked back to Travis's.
Yeah, I don't remember the rest of that, but I do remember. I'm sure it's probably because I was like, well, I have class tomorrow, and I need to go to bed and get ready for it. And if Benji's f***ed up, it's like, that was his choice. So he can hang out in the bathtub all night.
That's fair.
Yeah. It was definitely back then, like, I just, I mean, I tried to look out for friends and stuff like that, but like I was definitely.
You were very, and this isn't a bad thing. Like, I'm not shaming you or anything, but you were very quick to like cut the ties. Like,
yeah, and I think some of that was a self-defense mechanism because I didn't want to get roped into that stuff myself, or I didn't know how to process it. So I was like, oh, okay, so you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing. Like, it is the thing that you did, and I think it worked out for you. Where the fact, like, I dropped out of college.
And then I took way too much college for not a lot of purpose. Seamlessly or like make it funny. I try to do that so I don't cut out as much.
Yeah, okay. Well, we were at fit. Yeah, so we'll just see where we're at.
Let's, you care if we take one more shot?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Just pour it.
Support your local shots.
Yeah. So next, sorry, we've had technical difficulties on this episode. I started streaming, and it seems to be that my laptop doesn't agree with that. Probably because I'm streaming on a fucking laptop. And also recording podcasts on a fucking laptop. But anyway.
We're both experiencing technical difficulties. My computer's having issues, so.
Yeah.
If you're hanging out there and you're sticking with us through all of the.
We appreciate it.
All the things, yeah.
We're definitely rough. We'll be honest. We're a little rough on the edge. But I think that's what makes us
But we're just having a great time. I'm having a great time.
I love our 51 subs. They're just subbing for us, and they like us because we're raw, we're authentic, we're never who we're not supposed to be. Like how we've talked about how college, high school, we're always the person that we're supposed to be. Yeah. We've never been not that person, and it's never put us in a position. I think up until like college, we were popular, right? Mid-tier, upper mid-tier. But
yeah,
now I'm not popular, but I feel popular. I feel like a cool kid.
Yeah, I feel way more confident in myself.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that, like, I know I'm not cool anymore. Especially as I'm getting ready to enter 30, I'm like, oh, Jesus. Like,
yeah.
I already... Like, even when I was younger, I always felt like I was a little out of touch with youth culture. I always felt like I was always, like, in the mind of a 30-year-old.
Yeah.
But, like, definitely now that I'm about to be a 30-year-old, I'm like, oh. Like, I'm getting that, like, I just don't get young culture sometimes. Yeah. But I'm really doing my best to be as supportive and as open-minded and as
you have somebody who's fairly Jenna's not the youngest, but she does seem like she's in young pop culture.
She's one of those like zillennials. So she was born in 96. So sometimes they say she's a millennial, sometimes they say she's a Gen X. She's basically at the end of like the millennial cycle and the beginning of the Gen X cycle.
95 is considered,
or not Gen X, Gen Z.
Yeah, like usually 95's from what I've read is like it's like 85 or 80 to 95.
But anyway, I don't know. We're in this episode.
Well, hey guys, we had fun. We're apologizing for the technical difficulties that we've gone through. This was kind of the first time the laptop has gone on the fritz. We've had cameras go on the fritz.
Murphy's Law, though.
Murphy's Law. When shit goes wrong, it's gonna go wrong. If it can go wrong, it will go wrong. Anyway, thank you again for watching us. This is a long episode. We've had lots of long episodes this time. Enjoy our little episodes, though. Good night.
Bye. I love you all. You're wonderful.
Don't take it seriously.
Don't take drugs.
Don't take drugs.
Don't take drugs from strangers.